My boyfriend addiction to other women has destroyed me and I'm starting to hate him. My boyfriend and I are in our 40s and have been together for 5+ years. Neither one of us is interested in getting married, but he's recently moved in. We've had some issues over the years that somehow have been able to move past, but I think it's built up a resentment in me and I'm starting to detach. I've dealt with his rages and criticizing, the things that I have gone through and confided in him, he would use against me. It wasn't very often at the beginning, but now, it's at least 3 or 4 times a month. It hasn't always bad, but the bad has started to outweigh the good. When he gets mad he screams and calls me horrible names and tells me all the things he hates about me physically. If we were in the car, he'd drive down a busy street at 70 miles per hour threatening to slam the car into a pole or shoot me. Then he'd calm down hours later and apologize and swear he'd never do it again. He says he loves my body and they're just words and they don't mean anything, but they do to me. Then he'll get aggravated that I'm not immediately happy as soon as he says he's sorry. I don't switch moods like that. My boyfriend is woman crazy. Going out in public with him gives me horrible anxiety. It's embarrassing because he stares at women like he's never seen one before. Even with me by his side, he gawks and turns his head to watch them. Sometimes he even stops to stare and I end up being pulled back just to have to witness it. I can't keep his attention for even a minute. His timelines are full of mostly naked women and the fetish things that he's into it. It bothered me a lot. But I tried not to be too invasive because people deserve privacy, but a few years ago he randomly started asking if we could have a girlfriend, and he actually tried to give me good reasons why it would help our relationship. I died inside when the words came out of his mouth, and when I acted shattered and disturbed that he would even ask such a thing. He said he was joking and his friend's wife lets him do it, so he thought it was funny. I didn't believe him at all. Then a few months later he started asking to bring someone into the bedroom sometime, while we were just laying in bed talking. I know I'm stupid for continuing in the relationship at this point, but I did. I said no and not to ever ask me that again, but he did. I'm not someone who's unattractive, I think I'm beautiful. I have a very good paying job and I'm self-reliant. I spoil my boyfriend, anything he mentions, I get for him. I couldn't understand why he would ask me for things like this. It makes me feel less than and like I'm not enough. Every now and then he sprinkles in more doubt. I have long brown hair and green eyes, but he'll ask me to dye my hair blonde or ask me if I've ever thought about wearing blue contacts. He'll be hateful about the clothes I wear or my shoes or comment on things I can't change about myself. I love myself and would never, not for anyone, change things about myself that I, myself, didn't want to change. I started just trying to ignore his requests. All these criticisms piled on top of the things he says when he rages, has started causing me to have anxiety attacks. He hasn't lived here for a year yet and every day I dread coming home. I never know what kind of mood he's going to come home in. When he comes in I smile and say I'm glad he's home and then wait to see his response so I know what kind of night I'm going to have. I said all that to say this. I've built myself up over the last few months to just break up with him and ask him to move out. I've been passive with his last few big meltdowns so I can just give everything I have to one. Well, it happened. He started in on me and everything I felt and thought just came spilling out. How he treats me, how he talks to me, the way he criticizes me about everything and makes me feel like I'm not good enough. The way he will hold my hand and literally stop walking so he can check another woman out and pull me to a complete stop while I'm stuck watching him stare. He has crushed my soul and it has started changing me as a person. How more and more when I look at myself, I've started picking myself apart. How now when I see a beautiful woman, I cringe when I used to celebrate her. Even when I'm not with him and it makes me feel sick. He was so shocked, he didn't yell or get mad. He was stuck with his mouth open listening to me spill out my heart. I told him I was sick of being compared to the airbrushed perfection he spends all his extra time staring at. How I dread going out in public with him because we always get into a fight and I come home feeling low. How I see myself changing and I don't like it and I don't trust him at all because of the way he has tried changing me to look like his newest obsession. I told him I think he has an addiction and I will never be enough. He asked me if I wanted him to move out and I said yes, and that's when everything changed. He immediately started saying he'll change and he cried and said he would stop. He wasn't trying to hear that I wanted him gone and out of my life. I felt sorry for him not just because of the way he was acting but because I know he lost a good person. He asked me to give him a chance. But this would be the 1000th chance I've given him. So I asked him to let me see his phone. He said no. So I said was done. I know he's doing something but I don't know what it is. I'm not a cheater and never have been, so I never thought he was, until recently. So he told me all he has in his phone are saved pictures of other girls and saved videos them. I don't know why, but I didn't think he could hurt me anymore, but he did. That tore through me. How could he do that me? This has been a discussion before and he said he wouldn't do it but he did. I think in that moment, a switch flipped. I realize why he always asked me to change my appearance and wanted me to look different. I will never be enough for this person. He drained me. He changed me. He made me feel actual hatred for him. After everything he said and done, I finally felt hatred. In that moment I realized he was going to make breaking up unbearable, he was going to make it difficult, so I decided I would give him another chance. But it would be on my terms. If this is the kind of relationship he wanted, it would be the kind of relationship he'd get. I wouldn't be the sweet, wait on you hand and foot, be pushed to the side kind of girlfriend anymore. I was going to heal on my own, start doing the things he was doing and make myself happy. I work in a place full of men. It's a big business geared towards construction and renovation and I've never given a second look to the men I'm around. But not anymore. While my boyfriend has started trying to be sweeter and kind, I've started looking at and appreciating other men. While he's gotten nicer and more attentive, I've gotten colder and less caring. I'm in self-preservation mode and I'm actually caring less what's in his phone or what he's doing. I'm not naive, I know the end is close and it won't be any easier. It's years of knots and tangles that my heart will have to undo, but for now, I'm doing what I have to. I'm getting over him while laying next to him. I still love him but I do not like him. I know he can't carry on with this facade for very long. It's not who he is. My feelings for him change every day. I don't speak with softness for him anymore, he lost that. I don't let him see me naked anymore, he ruined that. I no longer share my feelings or my day with him, he doesn't deserve that. I'm becoming a stranger to him. By the end of it, he will not know me anymore and I'm okay with that. I'm sad that I'm losing my best friend, but I'm happy that I'm starting to get myself back and I've missed her. I just wonder sometimes. Am I overreacting? Especially since he claims every guy does this, including pastors? Comment. Girl, I don't know what happened to you, but you are brainwashed if you think any of this is normal. This is the worst type of person and you are using him now to feel superior in some way. You're both stuck in a codependent power struggle and it's pretty fucked up. You're not going to ever recover from this. This is permanently fucking with your brain. You're never going to get out of this mode you've chosen to be in. You sinking to his level does not make all of this better. You can't tell someone, well, you treat me like shit so I'm not gonna care about anyone or anything anymore. It's just psychopathy. I'm lost and I'm trying to get myself back and I just don't know how else to do it. I don't feel like I'm trying to be superior, I'm trying to heal, but I can see where you're coming from. It could be a feeling of revenge on my part. All I'm saying is that this is obviously a power struggle for dominance and, speaking from experience, is that this is not going to end well. Whether it's you or him, that won't let it end, and if it's you it's going to hurt a lot more. So just let him go crazy. He was going to go crazy anyway, this is his shit not yours. And now you're letting it affect you intensely. Save yourself. This ship is sinking and there will be no survivors. When you are really healed, you will look back and see that this was a mistake. Don't try to win in a power struggle with a psycho. It only ends with you becoming more psychotic. You have no obligations towards this man. Just tell him to leave. Even this revenge you believe you are having is just you still using your energy and time towards him. He doesn't deserve your attention, your energy, your thoughts. Move forward, meet new people, not to hurt this man, but to have a nice time, to make friends and to be open for a new time. For a moment I wasn't going to comment because it felt like you were a writer testing an argument for a book targeting middle-aged women. Don't keep on living your life like a hot novel for middle-aged women. Everyone know how the stories doesn't make sense when seen through the real-life lens. Next story 2. I was verbally assaulted today and my BF is mad at me because of it. The title says everything, but let me give you some details. So my BF and I have been together for 3 years. We're on very bad terms right now. I went to his house to talk with him after work, but he was not at home and he didn't tell me he was going out. So I stayed at his house for a bit, talked to his mom, wrote him a small note saying that I love him so much and let's talk, and went back home. The time I went back home was kinda late and it was dark. A group of 4 guys said some nasty things to me like, "Why are you crying? Come try taste my dick, you'll feel better," and stuff like that. I texted my BF about this. He called me and said, "You destroyed all my efforts of protecting you. I walked you home for fucking 3 years. I am not even talking about the amount I spent on gasoline. Why were you alone outside at that hour, you stupid son of a bitch? Why didn't you just ignore them or go to the other side of the road? You destroyed my night and my 3 years of effort, and you can't fix it. I'm sorry." I didn't answer his last messages. I'm so sad. It's late at night and I can't sleep. He didn't even ask me if I'm okay. Is there anything I can do to fix our relationship's current situation? I'd like to get your advice. Comment. You don't need to do anything to fix this other than to sit back and let that little shithead boyfriend apologize for what he said and then decide if you want to accept his apology. What an asshole to say that to you after what happened. How about, "Are you okay? Do you want me to come over on my way? I will run over these 4 jerks." Just kidding, Reddit, maybe. At least you are home safe, that's the most important thing. I understand it can be scary considering all the stories you see on the news. It unfortunate how he reacted to you, but I would take this time to process things, because if this is how he reacts it makes you wonder about him.